Hey guys, so this is going to be a demonstration video for the core four movements that I often talk about with you guys. So I'm not into filming fitness videos, so I apologize for the crudeness of this. But again, I talk a lot about the core four and I wanted to just give you guys a little bit of, video information about what that looks like and what I mean by the core four. So again, squatting, pushing, pulling, and hinging. And I say this to you guys all the time that those movements are so important because they're replete with life. Regardless of whether or not you do formal exercise, you're going to squat, hinge, push, and pull all day long. We pull bags out of cars. We pick things, squat down and hinge down to pick things up off the ground. We pull things off of shelves. We push the lawnmower. We push the shopping cart or the baby stroller. I mean, you just can't get away from the fact that we're squatting, pushing, pulling, and hinging. So it's very wise to train those particular muscle groups in order to protect ourselves from injury. So I'm going to show you a mix of body weight, bands, and a kettlebell I'm going to use for the weight. And this is just going to be very demonstration-like, and you guys, depending on where you are, you would start with less or more weight, okay? So let's get started, okay? So first things first, I'm going to demonstrate a pull, and I'm going to do that in the form of what is called a row. I have these great bands by Veek. I think Veek is how I pronounce it. I can't really say that too well, but I got them off of Amazon and they were very reasonable. I love bands because you can take them anywhere. You can take them to a hotel room with you. I mean, you just can't get away from being able to get a workout in if you have bands. So they came with a door anchor, and you just slide this under the door and shut it, and then you have something to anchor these with. But for this, I don't even think I'm going to have to use it. I'm going to show you how to do it in case you don't have that. Okay, so a row with bands. You take it, and you can see I'm working out barefoot. And all of you that know me know that I'm pretty serious about barefoot movement. But anyways, you are going to put it across the top of your feet and wrap it around. Do you see that? So I laid the long part across the top and wrapped it around. That way you just have a little more of an anchor there and it doesn't come off and go flying at you. And this is like not even really enough resistance for me, but I'm just demonstrating. So I'm going to kind of choke up on them a little bit, but you keep your back straight and you literally just row it to you. Okay, trying to squeeze the shoulder blades. Hear me cracking? Hear my Vata elbows cracking? So that's all you do. And you keep your back straight, row it to you. Just like you were rowing in a boat. That's why we call this the row. And squeeze your shoulder blades, okay? It's that simple. Now you can obviously do rows with a weight. We call these bent over rows. So if you had a weight and you wanted to, you could just slightly bend over and pull the weight up towards you, squeezing the shoulder blades at the top. This is a bent over row if you have weight. So for the push, pull, squat, and hinge, there are tons of variations. I mean, we don't have enough time to even talk about all the variations. So there were two for a type of pull, okay? For the push, I'm just going to show you one. I'm going to show you the push-up. And don't be intimidated by that if it seems like, oh, I can't push my own body weight. A lot of people can't, okay? You can either start out on your knees doing a push-up. If you can do a full body weight push-up, great. If you need to do it from your knees, that's fine too. And if that is still too low for you, you could do it off of a countertop, off of anything sturdy, okay? Just make sure you're safe as always. So I'm going to use this weight bench because I have it here. And then that just makes it a little easier, okay? So when you're doing your push-ups, you want to try to keep your back straight. I'm going to give you a cue. Hold on. Let me grab this. If you have a broom or a dowel, which I have here, you want to think about trying to keep your back straight enough that you could touch that pole at the back of your head, in between your shoulder blades, and on your tailbone, okay? Obviously, you're not going to hold the pole while you do it. I just wanted to give you that little cue to think about that you're trying to keep your back so straight that if I came and I laid that pole, it would hit all those points of contact, okay? Okay, so there's your push-up. So push and pull, right? Squatting. Honestly, this is where all the variations come in. So I'm just going to talk to you about 3. If you're new to squatting, you have any issues with your knees, hips, balance, dizziness, anything, I want you to squat to a chair, okay? So you could just place it behind you. You can put your arms across your chest or out, right? Whatever you want to do, or out if it makes you feel better. And you'd squat and then come back up. Ideally, you would want this to be a little lower, but you get my point. If you're new to squatting and there's a chance that you could fall or hurt your knees or something, I want you to start with a chair behind you. So squat to the chair, come back up. You would have your feet about hips distance apart, and you want to try to keep your back as straight as you can, not hunching over like this, and setting your booty back to the chair, and then back up. Okay, so again, a little lower would be better. If you are more advanced and you have weights, I'm going to show you one of my favorites, the goblet squat that we do in the RKC. Squat, come back up. I'll turn to the side. Squat. My feet are slightly outside hips distance and my toes are slightly turned out. Everybody's going to be a little different. Our quads are different lengths. Our hamstrings are different tightnesses. So, we want to move safely, but everybody's going to look a little different. That's okay. If you don't have a weight and you want to add a band, this is a little awkward. I don't love it, but I'll give you the option. You would step on the band and bring it over your shoulders like this and just have it right there. And there's where you can get the resistance for a squat with a band. I'll turn to the side here. That's a little awkward, I will tell you. But if bands is all you have, I'm a get it done however you can kind of gal, right? Okay, so hinging, okay? So again, hinging, you may just be starting out with no weight. But if you, let's see if we can do it. Let's try it like this. But if you have the band, step on it, go slightly outside, hips distance apart, okay? And then crisscross these guys like that. And you can put your toes just slightly out. And that's not going to be enough for me, so I'm going to, again, choke up on this a little bit to get a little more resistance. But what you're going to do is instead of a squat where you're bending your knees, you're just having a slight bend to the knee and taking your booty back. Like you're taking it to the wall behind you. And you're going to feel like your hamstrings are going to pop. That's what you want to feel. And then come to the top, squeeze your tushy at the top. So go back, squeeze up at the top, okay? And I'll turn to the side and show that to you. So hips or feet slightly outside hips distance, crisscross them, make sure you're really got a good stance on them. You don't want them flying off and popping you. That's no good, okay? And then back is straight. You see how I'm not squatting like the squat. I am hinging and my tushy is going back and there's just a slight bend here. That's the difference, okay, between the squat and the hinge. This would be like I want to pick something up off the floor, but I'm too lazy to squat down and get it, okay? And that's why I say these movements are replete in life because we're all doing them all day long. So get your grip, come up, squeeze your tushy at the top, take it all the way back. Come up, squeeze at the top, okay? If you have weights, much more fun than the awkwardness of the bands can be sometimes. And this is just a very light kettlebell. Don't judge me. I'm just demonstrating here. You have to squat down a little lower maybe to get it, because I have really tight hamstrings. I've been spending way too much time at the computer. So, okay, ready? And then come up, squeeze at the top. See how my hips are going back? Squeeze at the top. You really want to give it kind of a pop at the top. That really activates those glutes. Squeeze at the top. Okay, guys? So push, pull, squat, hinge. A couple of different ways to do it. Just get moving, okay? But move safely. That's the most important thing. Thanks, guys.